The age 16 was a very adventurous year for me. You know what I'm saying? I was never no bad kid. Like, I ain't never do nothing too crazy. Always kept good grades in school. I never gave my mama trouble. Or none of that. Like, I was a real good kid. Until I got that motherfucking job at Taco Bell working 35 to 40 hours a week. And that money started coming in, bitch. Oh, it was a wrap. So I ended up buying my first car at 16. Oh, bitch, it was up from there. A Ford Focus. You bitches couldn't fuck with me. Y'all could not fuck with me with my Fords. I had almost every Ford that y'all could even think of. Bitch, I had me the fur cover steering wheel, the fur cover seat covers. Bitches really couldn't fuck with me. Out of all my friends, I was the very first one with a car. But out of all my friends, I was the least experienced driver. Therefore, when it came to driving on the highway and shit and going to the mall, yeah, my friends was always the designated drivers. I could drive to little places like work or to school, but no more than 15 minutes away. I had this boyfriend at the time, and we're going to call him D. Me and D was the exact same age, was in the exact same grade, but we did not go to the exact same school. Me and D lived a good 35 minutes away from each other. He was on the other side of town. But we met on Instagram, and it was love at first sight. At this point, me and D been dating for about 5 months, and I have yet to ever see this boy in person. So when I finally got my first car, guess who the first person I wanted to pull up on? You goddamn right, bitch. I wanted to see my man. But me being me and me being sneaky as fuck, y'all know I had to do the most. I knew damn well that my mama was never going to allow me to go all the way over there and see that boy. I already knew this shit. Yeah, I grew up in the church. My mama ain't never going for no shit like that. So I had to do what I had to do, man. So yes, bitch, I did what any other teenager did. I lied. Yes, I lied and said I was spending the night over my friend's house when I knew goddamn well I wasn't. So then I had to find a friend that my mama knew and trusted at that time, or else she was not going to let me go. But I also had to find a friend that knew how to drive on the highway because, like I said, I could not drive no further than 15 minutes. And I had the perfect friend that came into mind. We're going to name her Luna. I chose Luna because Luna was my mission friend. Like, we went on the missions together, snuck out the house together, all type of shit. And she was also dating my cousin. Her and my cousin was literally dating for like a good year and a half. Like, they was like, like the toxic high school kids. That was them. So she been around my family. She know my mama, my cousins, my aunties, and everything. So she good in the hood. And out of all my friends, she was the best driver. And Luna was the only friend in the group that had her permit. Bitch, at that time, the permit was the license. Bitch, if you had your permit, you had your license. So that Friday at school, me and Luna rehearsed the whole plan of what we gonna do. The plan was for me to ask my mama on Friday because the best time to ask is on the weekend. Because, bitch, I couldn't spend the night no other day. As soon as I got home from school, the plan was to ask my mama, can I spend the night over her house? And when she said yes, I was going to pack a spend the night bag. And instead of spending the night at her house, I was going to spend the night at my boyfriend's house. I was going to drive to Luna's house. Luna was going to get in the driver's seat because Luna only stayed like 6 minutes away from me. Luna was going to get in the driver's seat and drive me to my boyfriend's house and drive back home and park my car in her driveway. So if my mama end up doing a little drive-by, bitch, I'm there. So as soon as I got home from school on Friday, I went upstairs to my mama room and I had to check her temperature real quick because I know the best times to ask my mama for something, the answer always yes. But she gotta be on the phone laughing and gossiping with her friends, or else it's always gonna be a fuck no. So I went in my mama room and the coast was clear. She was on the phone. Hee hee ha ha. As soon as I asked her, she immediately told me but she said to make sure her dishes was washed before I left. Bitch, I did them dishes so good and so fast, so quick. Everything was going great. A little too great. So after I got done doing the dishes, I went and packed my little bag. I kissed my mama and told her I'll see her later. And bitch, I was off to Luna's house. I pulled up to Luna's house. She got in the driver's seat. We stopped at Quick Trip and got some gas and some slushies. And bitch, we was on the road. Oh, I'm texting my boyfriend and I'm giving him an update. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in like 40 minutes. He like, okay, cool. I'm waiting on you. As soon as me and Luna hit the highway, something in my spirit told me to tell her, look, bitch, you and my cousin is not together right now because I told y'all that her and my cousin had like this real toxic on and off relationship through their whole relationship in high school. Because we cousins, his mama and my mama is always at each other's house. So I told her, don't park the car in his driveway while I'm gone. Because if my mama pull up and she see my car in the driveway, she's going to expect me to be in the house. And when I'm not in the house, then what? We vibing and riding. All of a sudden, no more than 5 minutes later, boom, somebody sideswipe us, bitch, and my whole driver's side mirror flew the fuck off on the highway. That should have been my sign to turn my monkey ass around and go back home because I had no business doing what the fuck I was doing anyway. I'm mad as fuck about my mirror. I'm stressing out because I'm like, if my daddy see this, he gonna be on my ass. Like, I'm gonna get in trouble, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but it's cool. I'll worry about that when I get home. I'm not about to let this ruin my weekend. It's my first time seeing my motherfucking man. So we finally get to D house. As soon as I pull up, he rushed outside, hugged me, kissing my face and all that stuff. Like, I'm just like, oh, my man. Then my homegirl Luna like, have fun, bitch. I'll be back and get you tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. At this time, it had to be around 7, 8 p.m. As soon as I got in his house, I text my mama and told her that I made it to Luna house and we about to watch a movie and shit like that and just chill. At this point, it's like 11 p.m. We sitting on the couch watching movies and eating his grandma nasty breakfast casserole. Then all of a sudden, a couple minutes later, I get a call from my mama. And me being me, I ain't answer. I'm like, okay, it's late. If I don't answer, she just might think I'm asleep and to call me back tomorrow. No, bitch, she called again. 3 more times. Bitch, and after the 4th call, I had to answer the phone like I was asleep. I'm like, hello, ma'am. And she was real calm. My mama scares the fuck out of me when she calm. As soon as I answer the phone, I'm like, hello. She like, where you at? I said, at Luna house. She said, I'm gonna ask you again. Where you at? I said, at D house. She said, good, cause you live there. Who live her, bitch? Who live her? At this point, bitch, I ain't panicking. I wake my boyfriend up out his sleep. He end up falling asleep on the couch during the motherfucking movie, bitch. We ain't even get to start kissing and dry humping yet. I get to thinking for a couple minutes, but I'm like, how the fuck did she know I wasn't at Luna house? So I start calling Luna back to back to back to back. I call this bitch like 6 times. This bitch is not answering. And never do she sleep this motherfucking hard. So after calling Luna and she not answering, I decided to call my motherfucking mama back and at least figure out how the fuck she know I wasn't at Luna house. So I call my mama back and I'm like, Mom. She like, what? I'm like, so how you know I wasn't at Luna house? She was like, I pulled up to our cousin's house and your keys is on the counter. And I walk in his room and Luna is in the bed with your cousin sleep. And I'm just looking dumb as fuck. I'm like, okay. And she was like, and I'm selling your car. And she hung the fuck up on me. I'm like, hold on now. I bought that car. My motherfuckers, how you gonna sell my shit? Bitch, I bust my ass for that shit. I bust my ass on it. Bitch, at this point, I'm mad, bitch. I'm heated. This nigga won't wake up. He act like he's so fucking sleepy. And Luna not answering the phone. So I started blowing her shit up like she was a nigga. This bitch finally answered the phone. She like, hello? I'm like, bitch, where's my car at? And she like, it's outside. I said, so where you at? She was like, with your cousin. I said, my car not outside. I said, my car is at home because my mama got my car. And she was like, what? How? I said, because, bitch, you went over my cousin's house anyway after I told you. I told you how my mama is always over there. This bitch was so dry on the phone. She pissed me off so bad, I just hung up on her ass. So then I woke my boyfriend up out his sleep, and I'm like, I need an Uber home because I got to get home. Like, my mama found out I wasn't at my friend's house. And then he was like, I'll get you one in the morning. I promise you. So, bitch, I'm laying down. But I cannot go to sleep. Like, he trying to cuddle and shit, bitch. I cannot go to fuck to sleep. Bitch, I'm scared. I don't want to be stranded here with your grandma nasty breakfast casserole. The morning come, he wake up yawning and shit, but bitch, I never went to sleep. So he start putting on his work clothes and he like, I'm going to take you to my job with me and then I'm going to get you an Uber home from my job. And I'm like, okay, cool. Mind you, he didn't have no motherfucking car. So his friend who worked with him as well was picking him up so that they both would go to work. So the friend pulled up and I got in the car. As soon as I get in the car, bitch, they blasting King Von at 8 in the fucking morning. So we finally pull up to their job and it's like a trampoline park. And so as soon as we walk in, he like, you can sit right here, babe, and I'm gonna get you an Uber as soon as I'm done clocking in. I'm like, okay, cool. 20 minutes went by. 25 minutes went by. Bitch, at this motherfucking point, it don't take that long to clock in. So I'm just waiting. Then I look to my right and I see D on one of the fucking trampolines doing backflips in the air. Bitch, he smiling ear to ear like SpongeBob was when he found out that Squidward loved Krabby Patties. Bitch, I screamed his name so fucking loud. I don't give a fuck how early it was, how many people was in there. I ain't give a fuck that it was even his job. So he started jumping on the trampoline and he came up to me. He like, what's wrong, baby? I'm like, get my Uber. Like, I have to go home. Then he like, okay, I'm about to go grab my phone real quick and call you an Uber. Bitch, he went to go grab his phone and 10 more minutes had passed and I have not seen that nigga. Bitch, I pulled out my phone and called my own Uber so fucking fast. And so my Uber came, and thankfully, it was a beautiful black woman who made sure I got home very, very safely. And I told her what happened and shit like that, and she told me make sure I don't never do no bullshit like this ever again. And D's so fucking slow. As soon as I got home, he get the blowing on my phone. He texted me. He like, where are you? He calling me back to back. It took you that long to realize I was gone, bitch. I broke up with him so fucking fast. He ain't never get to see me again ever.
So, story time. I'm gonna make a quick disclaimer though before I do share the story. I am in no way scorned or hurt about what happened. Only reason I'm sharing the story is because I know dating is very, very hard these days. I know how that world was before I got with the person that I was with, and I was very aware of that, okay? I'm more so coming on here to tell you guys, when you are dating, make sure you vet out people properly. Do not, and this goes for not just women, this goes for men too. You need to vet out the people that you are allowing in your life, that you are choosing to be in your orbit. You need to make sure you vet them out properly. You need to make sure that when they are telling you things, that is what it is. That it is the truth. You need to fact check. And if we want to get deeper into it, I'll be honest, and this is not for the crazies. If you are an obsessed person, I wouldn't recommend doing this. But you need to be doing a background check on everybody that you date. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you don't know what the life that people have had before you. You don't know who they are as a person, right? They're telling you who they are as a person, but you don't really know, right? And these are people that you're allowing into your life, and you're allowing them around your family, you're allowing them around your friends, and possibly even your kids if you have them, okay? And so, again, do not do a background check if you're a crazy person. This is not to be stalking nobody. I'm just saying that I think it's best for everybody to do, men and women, because there are men that lie out here, and there also are women that do the exact same thing. Before I get into the story, I do want to do a huge shout out to Austin. He is the best friend of 20 years of someone who I was just dating, someone who I was in a relationship with, and without him, I wouldn't have known any of this. Austin is also a bodyguard in LA. I was dating a person and in a relationship with someone. This is someone that I call my boyfriend since January. We met on Threads. His name is Jimmy Nelson. First name is James, but he goes by Jimmy. We met on Threads early in January, hit it off, FaceTime the exact same night that we were exchanging messages. And he pretty much was just upfront with me. We had a lot of things in, we were compatible in just a lot of areas. And I just appreciated him because I feel like in dating, you don't have people who are just upfront and just real and honest. And I felt like that was him, right? And he was very serious about what he wanted in life. He was, he's about to be a therapist in May, but he is in a master's program to be a therapist. This is someone who is actually giving people counseling, who's giving people therapy, okay? So I'm saying that because once I tell this story, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Why is he even a therapist? The entire relationship went great. And like I said, he was a very serious person from the start. He was, I guess we can use the words, and everybody loves to use them, intentional. He did have 2 kids. He did want to be upfront. He said, I do want to be married. I'm looking for something serious in my life. And he told me that from the get-go, okay? So that's how he moved throughout the entire relationship. Very intentional. I did go visit him in San Diego, which is where he lived. And by the way, he is from San Diego, originally from Long Beach, but he does venture out like around LA and stuff like that. So it was a long distance relationship, and I went to go see him in San Diego. Again, hit it off just like we did over the phone. And from that day that we first met, we FaceTime all day, text all day. I would even be on the phone with him while he was putting his kids to bed, okay? I would be on FaceTime with him. Which again is not going to make sense when I actually tell you what Austin told me, okay? Austin reached out, and this is when my life flipped around in 48 hours. Austin reached out to me, and what was it? Actually, early this morning. I was already starting to find stuff out, but he pretty much set it off for me because I would have never known. He told me, I just want to let you know that Jimmy is married. He has been married. I was at the wedding. I can send you proof of the photos. I can send you their Facebook profiles, him and his wife. And he went on again to tell me that Jimmy also has a 3rd child. And I said, a 3rd child? And he said, yes. He had this baby 3 to 4 months ago. So when I do the math again, he got into a relationship with me, already had a wife. She was pregnant during that time. And then you had a baby about 3 to 4 months ago. So you had a child while we were together. And then when I look back, and I knew for a fact that he was telling me the truth, because when I look back, I remember, like I told you, me and this man had FaceTimed, texted all day, everything. Even while he was in school, he's doing his internships, while he's doing homework. We communicated all day long. That was the very first day I remember we did not communicate that day. And then when I texted him, I said, hey, I haven't heard from you all day. What are you doing? He said, sorry, I've been at the hospital. And I said, are you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. He said he was at the hospital all day, right? That was the exact same day that he had his baby with his wife, his third baby. Again, I did not and was not made aware that this man was married. He did not move like he was married from the beginning. He moved like a single man. Did not wear a wedding ring. And usually you can kind of tell when people have rings on or have been wearing rings. They have that tan like line on their ring finger. It wasn't giving that. We literally spent an entire week. And by the way, his wife does live in San Diego. They don't live in the same, I guess he lives in like a duplex. She lives in an apartment. So they don't live together, okay? I would even be on FaceTime with him while he's dropping his kids off. And he would tell me about their co-parenting schedules. I would be on FaceTime with his kids, okay? I've met his kids, everything. This is why this makes the situation like 20 times more crazier. When I would go to California, we would spend an entire week together. Like I said, it never gave wife, okay? He would even answer in his Tesla. He would answer over the speaker with his kid's mom on the phone, okay? At the time, that's what I thought. This is just his kid's mom. He would say, oh, I'm doing this and I'll be back this day and I'll get the kids. So I don't know if they were separated or not, but you're still married, so you're still lying. And you still, again, had a baby with this woman, okay? And again, the reason why I'm telling this story is not on here to air out dirty laundry or my business, because there's a lot of people that know that I'm very reserved on here. A lot of people know that I don't even come on here to talk, okay? You probably never even heard my voice. But I'm telling you this because this needs to be used as an example, okay? So again, back to the story. Austin tells me every single thing. He also tells me that he has been involved with other women. The past couple of weeks, I've been noticing things were off in our relationship, not communicating as much. And last week, out of nowhere, he tells me, he went to a family reunion. He tells me, I came back outside and 3 of my tires were slashed, okay? Instantly, I read the message. I start looking like this. Okay, so we already know the old trick in the book. A scorned woman usually slashes tires. You slash 3 tires because insurance is not going to cover it. I'm not an idiot. So I'm like, okay, this is intentional. So who do you think slashed your tires? And he said, well, I don't know. My Tesla didn't pick it up. The cameras didn't pick it up. I was like, okay. I just let that slide. But again, I'm looking at you like you're crazy because I'm not an idiot. There is a woman who intentionally slashed her tires because of a reason, and you gave her a reason. And I'm not saying that slashing tires is okay. Don't go out there slash people's tires. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch other people's property. But there's a reason why she did it. And now that I'm thinking, she probably did it because she found out that he was married and had another kid. You probably did the same thing to her that you did to me. Did it because she found out that he was married and had another kid. You probably did the same thing to her that you did to me. So yeah, he pretty much just tells me he's been sleeping with this woman. And even at his cousin's repast a couple weeks ago, his cousin recently passed, he FaceTimed me at his cousin's repast, and they were all outside eating. He had been drinking, and he just FaceTimed me to say, it's like, I just want to let you know, like, thank you for being there for me. I love you. And he was telling me that he had been drinking, so he was, a little drunk. Austin tells me at that repast, Austin showed up, and there were women that were there fighting over him. This man was trying to sleep. His cousin just passed away. You're trying to sleep with your cousin, your male cousin's girlfriend. This was his girlfriend at the time that he passed away. You're trying to sleep with your cousin that just passed away. He said it was his favorite cousin. You're trying to sleep with his girlfriend. That's insane to me. And again, I'll be honest, I don't really care about that. I went and got checked. I'm good. I will continue to go get checked to make sure I don't have anything. The reason why I'm telling this story, though, is because you think you know what you know about people and you don't know shit at all. You think you know what you know and you don't know anything. People will get over on you. They will have, they will be strategic with you. And you don't know what the hell is going on. And this entire time, this man has not given me any clue that I would have ever thought. He was so good. And like I said, he's a therapist, so he knows his way with words, super articulate. He's very well spoken, okay? You can tell he's very educated just by the way he talks. So he knew what he was saying. He knew all the right words to say. But because I didn't vet him out, because I took things as face value, this is where I end up. And again, I don't want anyone thinking because I'm trying to tell this story that I want sympathy. I don't want, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't want that from anybody. Don't DM me saying that, actually. I'm telling this story because you should vet the people out that you want in your life. Because there's situations like this. And I'm telling every woman that he has been with in LA, San Diego, all over California, go get checked, please. Because you don't know if this man, we use condoms, and again, that's too TMI because I don't like sharing my business, right? That's way too TMI, but I'm just saying that I don't know if he hasn't used condoms with other women. I don't know that, but he's probably slept with so many different women, and who knows in the span that we've been dating. And you can also say like, oh, this is why you shouldn't do long distance relationship. Honestly, it doesn't matter if you're in a long distance relationship with someone or you're close with them. You don't know what that person, like, cheating is not a one-way, a one size fits all. You don't know, or just directed to like one area. Anyone can cheat at any time. You get people that go to work and they cheat. And again, this is not a situation to where I'm going to listen to comments or have people message me talking about men and men bashing. I'm not saying any of this to bash men. I'm not saying any of this to bash women. This is just real life and the shit that people can go through. And I want you guys, again, to vet out the people that you date and not think that what they're saying is 100% true, because situations like this can happen. And you guys are, again, probably wondering about, like, why would his friend of 20 years betray him? Why would Austin do that to him? Austin has been his friend for 20 years, and he told me that during that time that they had been on and off. And he has now reached the point to where he is fed up with his bullshit. He's like, he's done. He said, I don't want anything to do with it anymore, and I'm going to be honest and tell the truth, because I shouldn't have, he said, I shouldn't have, as a friend, allowed this man to do what he has done to women, and I'm not ever going to let this happen again. And from this day forward, we will never be friends. Was not made aware that this man was married. He did not move like he was married from the beginning. He moved like a single man. Yes, if everyone is wanting to ask, did you reach out to the wife? I reached out to the wife. I reached out to the brother-in-law. The brother-in-law responded, and he honestly said his jaw was on the floor. He could not believe that Jimmy, he thought that a good man was marrying his sister, and he could not believe that he would do this to his sister, and especially since they just had a baby. He could not believe it. And the wife has not responded. I'm pretty sure she knows because her brother knows. But I also want to add the kicker. When I confronted Jimmy about him having a wife and him having another child, him and his mom, I think her name was like Cayenne, she lives in LA. They called me to threaten me to not tell. And they threatened me. She said, if you continue to confront him about it, in which, yes, you're my boyfriend, I am going to confront you about it. And I'm going to tell you, like, I'm not a person that's just gonna be like, oh, well, I'll just drop it. No, because you have wasted my time for 7 months. And not only that, you were sleeping with numerous amount of women. You could have gave me something. Did he ever have you be on the phone with his kids?
Yes. He just took them to the movies last week. Or the week before last week, and I was on FaceTime with them.
Oh, wow. And I don't play that. I've never once got an STD in my life, and I never want one. And honestly, if I ever get one, I'm probably going to end up in jail. I don't play that. I don't play about my health, and we're not going to sit here and play with people. Like, I don't do that. So yes, I am going to tell the wife, and she should know everything, because at the end of the day, this is a man who was planning on leaving his wife to come live with me, to marry me. And it's like, do you think this reminds me of the episode? I don't know if you guys have watched The Polygamist off Netflix, but this is what this reminds me of. You thought you were married, had 3 kids, and you're about to come and live with me in Arkansas or move to Texas with me? That was never going to work. So again, I am still optimistic about the situation. I don't want anyone thinking that because this happened to me that, oh, she's probably going to be scorned. She's probably, not going to want to date men. No, this does not change my mindset on dating, on life. I am not traumatized from the situation. I think I am disappointed because I thought I have to look at this person a different way now. Like someone who I loved and I cared about, I have to look at you in a different way. However, I'm still very optimistic, and I know for a fact that the situation is not going to change my mindset about anything. About men, I've witnessed good men. I've been around good men. I know that I'm going to get what I want out of life, and that's how you have to look at it. When situations like this happen to you, you have to know that it's not going to break me. Like, you're not breaking me. You probably thought that, oh, I traumatized this woman. You did not. I think that, again, I look at the situation differently. And like I said, I just know for a fact that I'm going to get what I want out of life, and I'm not going to let this change me because it happened to me. And I don't allow life to just happen to me. I know I can get through anything, and the situation didn't change me at all, but again, it was just something that I was wanting people to know and warn women. If you live in any of those areas, please go get checked, and please know this man has a brand new baby and a wife. And now we have to do a bonnet series because his family is literally trying to stalk my page, threaten me, reach out. And I'm just going to say this. You cannot sit there and throw rocks and then hide your hands and then get mad when people start throwing boulders back. This is a serious situation. Women can literally get STD from his behaviors. I'm not going to sit here and enable it, and then I have every right to share my story. We're not doing that. So his brother, the fake pastor that's in LA that I posted, y'all want to try to cover up for this man. And the thing is, he doesn't even like his brother. He hates his brother. I have text messages of it. So we're not going to sit here and enable a grown-ass man. We're not doing that. He wanted to involve people, and this is the result. And then I really have to say this. I fear no one. I am not scared of no one. I'm not. And the part I left out about it is Jimmy has threatened me with a woman gang in Long Beach area. I don't care about a Crip. I don't care about a Blood. I don't care about a GD, whatever. And I don't even really know gangs like that. But I'm saying I don't fear anyone. So the threats and all that, like, if something does happen to me, it was the Nelsons. I was just going to go and say that, which I don't think they're going to touch me. No one's touching me. But it's just the fact of you guys are covering up for this man, knowing what he is doing. And then, oh, you're messy, you're drama. No, this shit happened to me and other women as well. Like, and he's involving his kids. That shit is gross. And then one last thing. His wife's family doesn't even like him. They hate her husband. Now, I don't know about the brother because he honestly seemed shocked, but her mom and dad don't like Jimmy at all because of how he is. If that says a lot, your in-laws hate you. And then you have your wife begging you. This is another thing I got told. His wife right now, because Jimmy's gone so much, she is begging him to help take care of the baby. So you're out here fucking women, causing drama, and you not taking care of your 3-4 month old? Like, that doesn't make any sense. This shit is ridiculous. And here's where I think they're mad. I think they're mad because I'm matching their energy, okay? You finally found someone who can match your energy. Because situations like this happen to certain women, and they don't really do shit about it. They might just go tell their homegirls, may tell their family members, and then they just let it go. But me, I was minding my own damn business, living my best life. Y'all see me, like, y'all see me on here. I literally live my best life to the fullest. And you come over here fucking bothering me. I didn't ask for that. You reached out to me first, and you involved me in your messy ass marriage. And then you're getting mad. Again, throwing rocks. This is why it is such a weak thing. Stop throwing rocks if you can't throw that shit back. Like, if no one can throw it back, why are you throwing rocks at people?
From the ages of 17 through 21, I was best friends with this girl, and almost all of our falling outs had something to do with me doing her hair. When I was a teenager, I used to do hair, but I didn't really have it as a business. I would mainly just do like my friends and family because I was just too paranoid and scared to do other people's hair. And I still am, actually. I could pretty much do almost every hairstyle, and any hairstyle that I didn't know how to do, I would just like watch a tutorial on how to do it. So most of the times when my friends needed their hair done, I would do it. And I honestly really didn't mind. Most of the time, like my best friends, my close friends, they wouldn't really pay me. I would just do their hair. And of course, this girl was my best friend, so I definitely was doing her hair. This was like in the beginning of our friendship. At this time, we probably had been friends for like a few months. Basically, she wanted to do crochet, and at the time, crochet was really popular and it was really easy to do. It was quick. Didn't take a lot of time, and it was inexpensive because the hair, you just get it from the beauty supply. I used to do crochet all the time, so I was gonna do her crochet hair, and I want to say that it was on a Sunday that I was supposed to do her hair. It could have been a Saturday, but I think it was a Sunday. She comes over to my house, and she had bought the wrong crochet hair. So we basically couldn't do her hair because she didn't want to install the hair that she did get. But also she didn't want to go back. Actually, she couldn't go back to the beauty supply because they were closed, because I think it was on a Sunday. That's why I think it was on a Sunday, because I think on Sundays, beauty supplies close earlier than usual. Either the beauty supply was closed or she didn't want to drive all the way to the beauty supply where she got the hair because it was near her house, which wasn't like super far from my house, but taking the trip back and forth would have just been too much. So she ended up just hanging out in my room. Like, she was just hanging out. We were just sitting there on our phones or talking or whatever we were doing. We were just hanging out. And then I had remembered that my friend actually had a birthday dinner that same day. And the reason I wasn't going to go was because, first of all, I didn't drive and I didn't have a ride. And also I was going to be doing her hair. So I was like, I'm just not going to go. But then I was like, okay, since we're not doing her hair and we're just sitting here, I asked her to give me a ride to the birthday dinner. And she said yes. She had no problem with it. She drove me to the birthday dinner. The whole ride there, she didn't say anything. We were just like chilling. I didn't see anything wrong. She didn't act weird in any way. She said yes, and I thought everything was fine. And I went to the birthday dinner. It was cool. Okay, so at the time, she had also started dating this boy who lived in Chicago, and he was really crazy. I remember when she introduced me to him, something about him just seemed off. Like, something about him just was not sitting right in my spirit. And also, like, the way he spoke to me when she introduced us, I can't remember exactly what the conversation was, but I could just tell, like, okay, this is not like a normal person. Like, something about him is just like off. Like, he just does not care. If you know the stereotype of like Black men from Chicago, he basically fit that stereotype, but Nigerian, because he was also a scammer. She started dating this boy like pretty early on in our friendship, so it was almost like I didn't know her apart from him. I only got to know her for like maybe like 2 months apart from him. Maybe like 3 months apart from him. It just wasn't a long time. So basically, most of our friendship, she dated this boy. I didn't really interact much with him, but the few times that I would interact with him, he just wasn't a nice person. He was rude, he was mean, and he just wasn't the best person. But this girl, my friend, she was the type of person that believed that her boyfriend didn't have to be nice to anyone but her, not even her best friend, me. And she would say that, like, my man doesn't have to be nice to anybody but me. That's what she believed. So he was nasty. Okay, so back to the birthday dinner. I think it was when I got home. I had some text messages from him on Snapchat. Mind you, I don't think me and him were like friends on Snapchat. I don't know how he got my Snapchat. I'm pretty sure at that time we weren't friends on Snapchat or anything. I don't even think we were ever friends on Snapchat. Anyway, I don't know how he got my Snapchat, but I had some messages from this boy, her boyfriend. And basically he was just going in on me and just being like, why did you not do her hair? Why would you have her basically like give you a ride to a birthday dinner, but you didn't do her hair? Da da da. He's like going off on me for not doing her hair, y'all. It was so bizarre. When I tell you, I was like so shocked. Like I actually didn't know what to say. I think I was like explaining myself and just basically telling him like, oh, she brought the wrong hair and we ended up not being able to do it because she wanted to, do it another day and like go back and get the right hair. Like it wasn't my fault. Like I'm just over here defending myself because I didn't know how to handle the situation because it was so new to me. I'd never experienced anything like this in my life. So of course I reach out to her and I'm like, girl, like your boyfriend is going off on me. And I'm just telling her what's happening. Like, why would you allow him to do this type of thing? And she was trying to say that she told him not to, and she can't control him, da 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 da, just basically coming up with some rubbish excuse as to why, she basically wasn't in the wrong and she didn't do anything. And I was just like really shocked. Honestly, y'all, like I'm telling the story, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I was just really, really shocked. Like I couldn't believe what was happening. Like I said, I had never experienced anything like this in my life. And she wasn't even like standing up for me. And I think she ended up being like, well, yeah, you didn't do my hair. And he was upset about it. And, he wanted to say something to you. And it was just even more weird because I'm pretty sure like me and this boy did not have each other on Snapchat. So she had to have given him my Snapchat or something. So like basically you gave him my Snapchat so he could go off on me. Mind you, up until this point, me and this girl had never had any issues. I had never seen any red flags or anything because mind you, this is like the beginning of our friendship. So the whole thing was it just really shocked me. And I'd never dealt with anything like it. Again, like I said, I've never dealt with anything like this before. So I just didn't really know how to handle it. I think she ended up apologizing or we ended up like talking about it or something. But anyway, we squashed it and I ended up doing her hair another time. I was literally 17 years old at the time. So I handle things a lot differently at 17 than I would right now at 27. So yeah, it was just a very weird situation. And it was honestly like a foreshadowing of just like how our friendship was going to go. This is just one of the few stories. I think I'm going to tell the next one in part 2 because the next one, it just got worse and worse and worse until our friendship eventually ended when I was 21 and I ended the friendship. And even our friendship ending was essentially because of this guy, because he did something really, really crazy to me. And she lied about it to me, basically. She lied about it to me for years. She knew the truth for years and she kept it from me. And I ended up finding out and our friendship ended up ending. Actually, that's not even what ended our friendship. We ended up becoming friends again, even after that. And then she did something else. Y'all, it was a very toxic friendship. It was just a very toxic friendship in general. And I wish that at the time, obviously there's no way, but I wish that I had the knowledge that I have now because that friendship honestly changed a lot. Like I feel like I would be a whole different person if I didn't experience some of the things that I did in that friendship. You know what? Now that I think about it, although that friendship was very painful and a lot of the things I experienced in the friendship was very painful, I also learned so much about myself. And like I said, I would be a whole different person if I hadn't been friends with this girl. But honestly, it was for the best because a lot of the things that I learned, it kind of like outweighed the bad. I feel like it changed me into a completely different person. And I'm actually not mad at it. I have so many more stories I could tell about this friendship specifically, and I'm gonna tell them, so stay tuned because there's a lot. Like, it just kept getting worse, and yeah, bye.
Story time on why I left my 10-year marriage the way that I left it, which was with another man. Now, I know everybody was pegging me as a whore and fully believing everything that my ex-husband was, well, soon to be ex-husband, he's not my ex-husband yet, unfortunately, was saying about me, because he really comes off as the perfect dad, husband, family guy, hardworking, all of those things. So I kind of knew that everyone was going to put the blame on me, because our families are just a little bit different. And so I kind of knew that I would be the one to get the blame when all of this went down. So I was cool with that. I already accepted the fact that I was going to be the villain in this story, and I was ready to play that role, baby. So when I met my soon-to-be ex-husband, I already had one child, who is my oldest, and my oldest child was 1 year old at this time, and I was 21 years old when I met him. And at that time, I had been separated from my oldest son's dad for that whole first year of his life. And my now soon-to-be ex-husband approached me, like, asking if I would go on a date with him. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Like, why not? Let me give it a shot. He's not really my type, but obviously my type ain't that great. So let me just give this a shot and see what happens. We ended up really hitting it off. And that next year, he proposed and we were engaged to be married. So we got our own apartment. It was just like a little rundown piece of crap apartment. I was working at Walmart during that time as like a cashier, and he was a military reserve on the weekend and welding. And during that time, we only had my oldest son. So like I said, we were engaged to be married, and there was a morning where I wanted to send a picture that we had taken together at a wedding to myself. And so I grabbed his phone. He was still asleep. And I grabbed his phone, got on his email to go send myself the picture, and a message like kind of just stuck out to me. So I clicked on it. And that was when I found out that he was soliciting prostitutes. And when I say soliciting prostitutes, I'm not talking about a bot message. I'm not talking about like a porn website message. No. He was saying, you know, like, how much is this going to cost? Okay, blah, 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 blah. Where's this at? Which room number are you in? He was going there. And so immediately I punched him in the mouth, obviously, while he was asleep. So we wake up, and allegedly I did that. He wakes up, we get into it. My mom had been living in the apartment right above us at that time, so I went up to my mom's, and I stayed up there for a little bit and was talking to her. I was like, I think I need to leave this situation. If he's already doing this before we're even married, like, what's the marriage gonna be like? And my mom kind of told me, like, no, I really do think he loves you. I think he just made a mistake. This is something you guys can fix. He can get counseling. I think he really loves you. I feel like you should stay with him. And so I also told his mom, and she kind of told me, I really don't believe that he's capable of doing anything like that. Okay, so I was embarrassed and humiliated by this. I was absolutely crushed by this situation. But I was too humiliated to talk about it with anybody aside from my mom or his mom. So I didn't talk about it with anybody else. I never put anything that he did to me on social media because I was fucking embarrassed that he would do this kind of thing to me. So eventually, like, and he never, by the way, admitted it, even with all of the proof that I had, being caught red-handed, it's still on the phone. Like, he still did not admit it. He still gaslighted the living shit out of me, until I finally convinced myself that I was fucking crazy and that this was from past relationship trauma. And he convinced me that it was just watching porn, and that's why those messages were on his email. Yeah, I know, I'm a dumbass. And so we went on to be married because I'm a dumbass. And once we were married, we started having our children pretty quickly. We had my middle son together, who is level 3 autistic, and we did not know that at the time, obviously. And then we had a daughter that passed away, and then shortly after that, I had my youngest daughter. Now, throughout the time of our marriage, I had caught him cheating multiple times, caught him watching porn multiple times. Never once would he admit it. He never, ever gave me any kind of closure. He always convinced me that I was crazy, that this was from past relationships, that he wasn't capable of doing those kind of things. And that was another reason why I never really brought any of it to social media or anything like that, was because I knew how people looked at him. They look at him like he's the perfect dad, the perfect husband, he's hardworking. All of the things that I thought about him when we first met is how everyone else saw him. So I never really took it public about any of the things that I caught him doing. I just dealt with it by myself. And eventually, after he had done it enough times, there was this girl. He was taking out on dates from Sand Springs. This was after I had already lost my daughter, and I was postpartum with our youngest daughter. And he was taking this girl from Sand Springs. Her name starts with an A. And yes, I know about you, girl. Knew about you the whole time. He just, gaslit the shit out of me and continued to lie about her. But I knew he was seeing her, and there was no denying it. He was taking her out to places like Cheesecake Factory and On the Border and, these little low-scale restaurants, all while I'm sitting at home with the 3 kids as a stay-at-home mom, postpartum, miserable, and trying to convince myself that I was crazy and that none of this was happening. And just, I was devastated by all of this, and I was driving myself insane. So that was the time that I decided, I'm getting my get back this time. You're not getting away with it this time, because I had never done anything like this to this man at this point. And this girl, the one from Sand Springs, was the one that made me not care anymore. Because if you can do that to me after everything that we had gone through together, no. So I cheated back, and I made sure he found out about it. I left my location on. He saw me on the turnpike, coming back from being with another man, and I told him straight up, yeah, I was with somebody else. And I wasn't satisfied by that time, so I did it again, because I felt like that's what he deserved. And I wanted to feel like, hey, I got him back. I feel good about this, but I didn't yet. So I cheated again, and made sure he found out about it once again. And then we split for a time. Oh, and by the way, whenever I got caught cheating, like I had intended, because I wanted him to feel the way I felt. When he caught me cheating, he made sure he blasted the shit out of me on social media, made me out to be a freaking whore, made sure our friends and family all turned their back on me and were supportive of him, made sure that everyone thought that I was ruining the marriage, I was ruining the family. It was literally the most narcissistic shit I have ever seen someone do. But I accepted it, and, whatever. Now, if you followed me for any time on here, you know that I have a past with addiction, and that I had a addiction to meth. So about this time, it had got really bad at that point, and I decided to change my life, get in sober living. And when I was in sober living, we weren't really together or anything like that. I was kind of dealing with everything by myself. So when I got out of sober living, I had got a house with the help of my aunt and uncle. I worked my ass off to get that house, mind you. Had got myself a new car. I was working for my aunt and uncle, and I was doing really good. My kids were back with me. I was doing great. And of course, he wants to pop back in my life. So he winds up moving back in, and I had done so much work on myself in sober living to heal my past traumas and get better mentally, that when he moved back in, it just felt like we were not aligned, like we were not in the same place. And I felt like I had done so much growing, and he was trying to hold me to this old version of who I used to be in active addiction, and I wasn't going. You're not going to drag me backwards when I've already worked so hard to become a different person. And so I told him, he moved in August, I told him in September, I don't feel like we're compatible anymore. I just don't. And I think we should split up. And he was like, no, I really want to work this out with you. I don't want to go be with anybody else. I want us to fix this. I want to work on our marriage. So eventually I agreed, okay, let's try to work on this. So we did a couple rounds of marriage counseling on the phone, on FaceTime with a counselor. And that was the last of that. There was no more counseling, nothing like that. And we didn't really put any work into our marriage, because I had told him, from what I need is, you can commit to the gym. I gotta go to part 2. Go to part 2, guys. It gets so... Okay, so part 2 of why I left my 10-year marriage the way I left it, which was with another man. So when we left off, I had told you guys that I had told him, he had moved back in August. I had told him by September I didn't feel like we were compatible anymore. I had done so much growing, and I just felt like we were in 2 completely different places. And he said he wanted to work it out, so we did the marriage counseling those 2 times on like FaceTime or whatever, and that was the last of that. And I had told him what I needed from him was that he could commit to the gym, to all of these other things, and never miss a day. He was capable of investing all this money and time and energy into the gym, into other things. Could he commit to planning a date night once a month, not even once a week, just once a month, and getting me out of the house and doing something with just me, no kids, no talking about work? Could he commit to that? And he said yes. We went on one date, and that was it. Now, I was still here trying to make it work. I talked to him about, more going on more dates, whatever. So he says he would plan one, and he was going to surprise me. It was going to be blah, 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 blah. He really talked this date up, and so we go on the date. Come to find out, he didn't even make a reservation at the restaurant, so we wound up me walking in my heels to a different restaurant. It just kind of gave, I don't care enough to put any effort into you, and that kind of hurt my feelings, okay, but let's move on. So he had started going to the gym every night, which was, not out of the norm. He always has gone to the gym. He's always been really big into lifting. I never had an issue with that. That's one of his hobbies that he's passionate about. I didn't care. So he had started going to the gym, though. I would go after work, and then he would go in the evenings. Well, he started going every night from 8 p.m. As soon as I would get the kids laid down for bed, he would take off and go and stay out until 4 a.m. So needless to say, my intuition and my gut was freaking screaming at me. I immediately knew either there's a guy at this gym that he's really fond of, or there's a girl at the gym that he's really fond of. And he's seeing them. He's cheating again. And I knew it. So this time, I didn't ask for clarification. I didn't try to fix it. I decided in my mind, I am leaving this relationship one way or another. And I didn't know what my plan was yet. I kind of was working that out. And I was just kind of putting up with it and going through the motions, at that time. And eventually I met somebody at work who, at first it was just a friendship. We were going to meetings together, and it was just kind of friendship at first, but we wound up, I wound up really liking this guy. And so he started taking me out on dates and spending time with me, and I really, really liked him. So I was I want to pursue this. And so I told my soon-to-be ex-husband straight up, hey, I want to be with insert name. And he said, I'm taking the kids and you will never see them again. And mind you, this man is still living in the house that was mine, still to this day. And I had to move out. Because, like I said, when all this happened and I told him that I was with this other guy, he straight up convinced all of my family that I was being this evil, vindictive bitch. I was ruining our family once again because I never called him out publicly on the bullshit that he was doing to me. I kept it to myself because I knew eventually time reveals everything. And so, needless to say, I move out. It's a big drama. I don't know. Some of you guys kind of saw that on my social media, how that played out, but nobody really knew what was going on behind the scenes. So, I move in with Michael and we, make things work. I get a better job. I get a better car. Life starts getting really, really good for me. And, yeah, everything started working out for me. And he didn't wind up keeping my kids from me. Obviously, they are still with me, and he will never keep my kids from me. I don't care. That's just not ever going to happen. So, needless to say, I knew what was going on before I left, and he assumed in his head that I had no idea. So here just recently, this week, he comes to me and apologizes and says that he wants to clear his conscience. And I'm like, okay. And tells me that every time I ever suspected him of cheating, I was right, which there were so many times. He told me I was right and that he apologized for that and that, he wishes he would have done a better job as a husband and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. Well, the girl who he is with now is the same girl that he was seeing from the gym. She's a trainer. And yes, I know who you are too, girl. Dating married men is not it. You should find something else to do. But that's her prerogative. Keep him. I already know what you're about to experience, and I honestly feel for you, girl. But it did eventually all come out in time that I was right about all of it. He's dating the girl that he was cheating with prior. But like I said, he made me look like I was the bad guy. I was the one destroying our family. I was doing all of this. Whole time, it was him doing these things, and all I was doing was reacting to his bullshit. And like I said, the only reason I never called him out publicly was because I was fucking humiliated that I married and gave this man children. And to the point, like, now to the point, I'm to the point where I've realized, like, I have nothing to be ashamed of in that situation. That's not my shame. He can shame me. He can blame me. He can say whatever he wants about me. I know what happened. I know who I am as a person. And I know that everything that he puts on for social media, for his image, like, to other people, is all a facade. That is not who he is. He portrays, like I said, the perfect dad, the perfect husband, perfect family man. Like, he cares so much about his family, but really, he's the type of man that leaves his family fucking hanging. He lets them go without. I can't even tell you how many times he was so irresponsible and left us hanging as his family. But first time that someone else outside of our family, friends, family, coworkers, whatever, needs help, he will be the first one to show up because he wants to look like the good guy. And I don't care. I'm not upset about it at this point. I'm at peace with it. I made peace with it before I left. I knew how the situation was going to play out, but I just wanted to finally give my side of the story so everyone can know, like, either believe me or don't believe him if that's what you believe. But I'm going to tell my truth, and I don't really care who likes it. I'm okay with being painted as the villain, but you're going to hear my side of the story.
Because I got time today, honey. So sit tight. It's going to be a long one. Because this is a story time on how my best friend that y'all saw me living with for the last 2 years in this house, now she's my mortal enemy. And I'm about to tell y'all exactly where she had me fucked up at. Now, if you know ball and you actually listen to the things that the elders and the wise people say, they say two things, okay? The first thing that they say is that you don't know somebody until you live with them. That's the first thing they say. The second thing that they say, and this is the real kicker, the second thing that they say is that you have to be careful who you help and why you help them, because you could be interrupting somebody's karma and you don't want to do that. And this situation that I just went through with this bitch literally fits both of those descriptions. So back in March of 2024, I moved my best friend out here. And when I say I moved her out here, it wasn't like oh, no, bitch. I paid for the tickets. I paid for the flight. I moved her out here with my own bare hands, okay? Now, the plan was, my lease was already up when she moved out here. I was on a month-to-month lease with my building. So basically, if she moved out here in March, I told her, you don't have to worry about paying rent right now because we're not even going to be here for too much longer. We're actually about to find a new place, a bigger place with more space for all of us. So what you're going to do and what I want you to do is I just want you to hold on to your money. I want you to save your money so that when we move, we have a little money to start off with, and then boom, and then we can go forward from there. I got us until then. She said, okay, bet. We found this condo in July of 2024. We moved in beginning of August 2024. Why after 5 months of you supposed to be saving your money, you only had $500 fucking dollars to move into this place. So yes, I ended up borrowing the rest of the money from somebody, paying it back within 2 weeks, because yeah. And that was how we got into this apartment, because I didn't want to lose this apartment. I didn't want anybody else to come in front of me with money. No, I want my shit today. So we move in August of 2024. Mind you, the thing about her only having $500 and why that was weird to me is not because I'm a pocket watching ass bitch. It's because, bitch, you had 2 jobs and no kids. Why do you not have more than $500 saved up and you have no fucking overhead? That was an issue to me. But I digress. But the real issues started when we moved in August of 2024. And by September of 2024, you got yourself fired from the job that made you the most money because you're a fucking idiot. And you got yourself fired on purpose because you just don't know how to fucking adult. She got herself fired because she thought she was bigger than the fucking program. And they reminded her gently, sweetie, you are not. So they fired her. They denied her unemployment. So you know she was at fault. She was the reason. And so, yeah. So then she was basically begging, borrowing, and pleading to pay her rent for the next several months, including borrowing money from my friend who only gave it to her because he felt sorry for her because he knew she needed it for her rent, and he knew that if he didn't give her the $700 fucking dollars for her $1,000 in rent, yeah, if he didn't give her that $700, he knew that she would be fucking me over, and he cared more about me than he cared about her. So it wasn't that he wanted to help her, he wanted to help me. He helped her help me. That's how that happened. But she lied about that. She told me, oh, I just made this money from door dashing. That's how I came up with my portion of the rent. But then you told him not to tell me. And he said, bitch, why would I? Like, first of all, that's the only person I would tell. And you're telling me not to tell her? That's weird. So then we sat her down and asked her why the fuck she did that weird ass shit. And she said we were attacking her. Not that we were holding her accountable and asking the questions that needed to be asked. No, it was a spiritual attack. Okay, bitch. All right. So fast forward, here we are. Now we are in January of 2025 after she pulled that weird shit. And we said, you know what, bitch, we love you. And we're not going to let you fucking be weird. We see that you're struggling. We see that you need help. So we actually are going to use our resources. We're going to help get you another job. So we used our connections and we got her personally put into another job. And it was a restaurant job serving in Chicago. So, she was making a little coin. So that was how she was able to pay back all the people that she borrowed money from. That was how she was able to finally get on her feet, finally start decorating her room, finally get her bed up off the fucking floor. Because mind you, like I said, she lost her main job a month into us being in this place. So she was fucked up for a minute, and I held shit down. I did. But in the time that I had to hold shit down, because she couldn't barely afford to pay her rent, she also couldn't afford to help out on utilities or anything else with the house. So once she got on her feet, we had a conversation. I said, okay, now, like, it's time for you to start, like, pulling your weight, And she did for, like, 2 months, and then it stopped again. And this brings us to summer of 2025. We re-signed the lease. That was my mistake. I should have never re-signed a lease with her, knowing that she was struggling for the whole year of the first year of the lease. I should have never re-signed the lease with her. But that was my bad. I learned my lesson. So I re-signed the lease with her. That brings us, we're now like August of 2025. So summer goes fine. Now we're going into winter. My intuition was just telling me, like, this isn't going to be a sustainable friendship, especially if she's not helping around the house and she's not helping with utilities. She's not helping with housework. She's not helping supply like basic necessities for the house for everybody, like toilet paper, paper towel, dish soap, like regular shit that you just need in the house. She's not helping me with any of that. So I'm getting to the point where I'm like, we're not going to continue to do this. I knew when we re-signed that lease, I knew that this was going to be the last time we signed a lease together. I was going to be done. And in the midst of this time period, we're talking fall of last year, I started to pull back. I did. I started less doing the bestie thing and more so going back to doing things on my own. Hanging out with my friends by myself, not inviting you to hang out with my friends anymore because I felt like I needed to separate my friends from you again after you did that weird shit borrowing $700 from a friend that belonged to me. That wasn't a mutual friend of ours. That was my fucking friend. Okay, that I introduced you to, but that was never your friend. And you made the mistake of thinking that. And I just felt like that was messy. Like I had to go back to keeping our people separate. So that's what I did. Now we get into December of 2025. She pulls me to the side, has a conversation, wants to talk to me as a woman. And she goes, things have been a little odd between us. Yeah, I know. I just want my friend back. Like, what can we do to repair our friendship? And I told her, under no uncertain terms, I said, straight the fuck up. You know what can help fix this? If you started actually pulling your weight around here and doing and holding the responsibilities that somebody who is on this lease is supposed to hold. She gave me this whole sob story of, I just got back on my feet, bitch. That was in fucking February that we got you this job. You didn't just do shit. It's been months. Okay? Like, cut the bullshit. She's like, I can't really afford to pay all this money on top of what I already paid. Well, then it sounds like you can't afford to live here, sweetheart. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So now we're in January. Of this year. January, we had an incident where like a pipe burst. It's winter time in Chicago. That happens. A pipe burst flooded the whole first floor of the whole unit. mostly in the back, like in the back hallway and stuff. But it came into my apartment a little bit on like, you know, by my back door and stuff. And they had to cut the water off. So because they had to cut the water off, we couldn't shower, couldn't use the toilet for a couple hours, didn't have water. So I said, let me gather my 2 daughters and myself and let me go to a friend's house for a couple hours till they sort this shit out. I didn't tell her because, bitch, you're grown. Sort your own shit out. Find yourself something to do while they cut this water off. I'm not your fucking mom, okay? And she was pissed about that. She was pissed because I didn't include her in my contingency plan to make sure me and my kids were good. Bitch, I've been doing this whole time. I've been making sure you're good. When does it end? When are you going to make sure I'm good? When are you going to have a plan for me? Anyway, long story short, short story long, because this is going to end up having to be a 2-part series, honestly. But so February of this year, I told her straight up, we're not doing this anymore. When it's time to re-sign the lease, I'm re-signing it by myself with just me and my daughters, and you can go. Like, it's been real, okay? And she accepted it. She was fine with it, allegedly. Then she started doing even weirder shit. I'll talk about the even weirder shit she started doing once I made it clear that the friendship was coming to its end. We'll talk about that. But that's why I was in here doing the splits and cartwheeling and fucking running laps in my house yesterday. Because she's finally gone. She's finally gone. My landlord had to remove her from the lease early and everything. You see, it's not August again and she's already gone. It's because we had to evict her. And I'll tell y'all why in part 2, why it got really weird towards the end. All right, this is part 2 of why my best friend / roommate is now my fucking mortal enemy and she can go to fucking hell. So in my last video, I ended by saying basically by like February of this year, I had told her that, hey, this isn't working out. I did do exactly what I said I was going to do. I said we were going to do this for a couple of years just so you could get on your feet, and then we were going to separate, and now it's time for us to separate. And she said that she was okay with that and that she accepted that because let's be clear, and let me add this in here because I didn't tell y'all this in the last video, but the whole reason, and this is my fault again, because we are holding ourselves accountable. We're not just all putting this on her. This is also partly on me. And the whole reason that she even ended up out here, the whole reason I moved her out here, the whole reason I let her move in with me was because she was over the age of 30 and she was sleeping on a couch in her mom's house in North Carolina with no fucking job. And I just felt like, hey, I have the capacity as your friend who actually cares about you and who actually sees your potential and actually wants more for you than that. I have the capacity to help you. I have the capacity to get you a job. I have the capacity to get you on your feet so that you don't have to be fucking 40 years old and a bum. I don't want that for you. As my friend, I see a better life for you and I have the means to help you, so I'm going to. I did the realest thing a real bitch could ever do. It just backfired on me, but that's not going to change my heart. I'm still a real ass bitch. I just have to have a little more discernment. Anyway, but that just goes to show you, you cannot care more about somebody else's situation more than they care about their situation for themselves. I had to learn that. So anyway, February, I told her, yeah, this isn't working out. We're going to go ahead and go our separate ways, when it's time to re-sign the lease, blah, blah, blah. She said, okay. Now we're in February, right? I told you. So I want to say about a week after we had that conversation, she ends up being nasty to my fucking daughter. And it wasn't so much that she was nasty with my daughter. I knew deep down inside, you're being nasty with my fucking daughter. You're being rude with my fucking daughter because you have an attitude because you know your time here is coming to an end. That's what that's about. You have an attitude. I don't give a fuck about your attitude, bitch. What about the attitude I've had for the last fucking 2 years as I've had to silently pay every gas bill, every light bill, every motherfucking Wi-Fi bill, every grocery, every piece of toilet paper, every square of toilet paper that you wrap around your hand and wipe your ass with, I bought it, bitch. And you want to have an attitude because I told you had to pull your weight or go. And you chose not to pull your weight, so now you have to go. Like, I told you what was going to happen. I told you what I wanted from you. You didn't do it. And then this is the consequence of that. And now you're mad at your consequences. Sit down and eat your food. Okay? So I cussed her the fuck out. Yes, I did. I made a scene. Because you're not going to be nasty and rude to my motherfucking child because I'm holding you accountable and you don't like the sight of yourself in the fucking mirror. Oh, well. And what really drove it in for me, the reason I snapped on her was because you were nasty and rude to my daughter in front of your girlfriend, and your girlfriend decided that she wanted to ad-lib. Oh! So this bitch has another narrative going on in her head that you told her, and she's under the impression that I'm the one in the wrong here. So she felt comfortable to egg you on while you're being nasty and rude to my fucking daughter, and I'm the one that's keeping this entire ship afloat. Let me let you know something, bitch. All right? That was what did it for you. So after that, it was up after that. And that was when the gloves were off. I wasn't going out of my way. I wasn't bullying the lady. I wasn't being mean to her, but I simply stopped giving a fuck. No, I'm not speaking to you. No more pleasantries. If you're walking in the house and the doors, and I'm not holding the door for you. No. You get nothing from me. Energy, shut down, cut off, done. So that brings us to like March, April, around our birthdays. Our birthdays are 3 days apart. Do you think she got a happy birthday or a boo for me? No, she did not. I celebrated my birthday. I had company. My friend came in to see me. I went out. I had a blast for my birthday. I don't know what she did for her birthday. I don't even know if I don't know. I can't tell you. I minded my business going forward. So now, here we go. We go into, when was this? This was May. Last month. My landlord says, hey, can we meet and have coffee? I want to talk to you about something. I said, sure. So I met her. We went and had coffee. And so we're having a conversation, and she goes, I just want to say, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for being who you are. You have been a wonderful tenant. I really appreciate you. Standard pleasantries. I said, I appreciate you too. And she said, I just want to, let you know that Jasmine has not, for the entirety of your last lease and the lease before that, she has never paid her rent on time, and she has never paid it in full, like when she does pay it. Like she'll pay $300 here, $400 here, another $300 here, and she pays it in chunks, but she said, unlike you who pays your rent before the 5th in full every time, she said she's never done that this whole time. And then she said, and for the month of May, she hasn't paid me at all. I said, okay, all right. So she says, so I'm saying this to say, she said, I'm going to allow you to stay on the lease by yourself. But she said, but I'm removing her from the lease early. And I'm going to just let you just be on the lease by yourself going forward. But she said, but I have removed her from the lease as of this month. And she should be leaving. I said, okay, interesting. She also told me that she's going to sell me this condo after my next lease is up. So woohoo. But, so I came home after that meeting, and I calmly, politely knocked on that lady's door, and I said, hey, it's come to my attention that you have not paid any rent for this month, and you are also, as of this month, no longer on my lease. So I would kindly ask you that you have your shit and you be out of here by the end of this month. No questions asked. And I walked off. Do you know this bitch called my landlord crying, saying how her last day of work was in June, and she just can't leave that fast, and just a whole sob story. And my landlord, I love her, but the lady is soft as fucking, she's soft. She fell for the tears. She fell for the bullshit. She gave her an extra couple weeks. Whatever. It's your property. It's your property. We're just the leaseholders, whatever. It is ultimately your decision to do that. I respect it. You be kind-hearted, because if it was up to me, baby, her ass would have been on the street. But that's just me. So, with that being said, she went ahead. She did leave in the timeline. She didn't play in my face like I thought she would. Because I trust and believe, I fully planned on having the sheriff come and drag her out by her fucking knuckles. I never gave a fuck. But she did finally just leave on Saturday while I was out of town taking my kids to my mom's for the summer. She left while I was out of town. Like a thief in the night. She just quietly got the rest of her shit out and got the fuck out of my house. And that was fantastic. I was so happy. Get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of my life. But then the bitch lied. She did her big one. For her final act, she lied and told the landlord that she left the keys under the mat. She never left the keys under the mat, y'all. So do you know I spent $120 buying all new locks, and I changed my locks the day I got back, because who the fuck do you think you're playing with? Why would you keep my fucking keys, bitch? What was you gonna come in here and break in my house and vandalize it? Was you gonna come in the house and kill me? Was you gonna come in the house and play in my ass? What was the reason? Anyway, all that freaking drama, all of that drama, from losing your job, from not supporting the household, from just all of the drama, being nasty and rude, being a dirtball, not keeping the house clean. You didn't have a bed when you moved in. I gave you my old bed because I upgraded my bed, and then you left the fucking mattress fucking disgusting. If I showed y'all this mattress, I would probably get fucking flagged. Just trifling all across the fucking board. And then I had to basically, we had to drag you damn near out of this house. You had to get evicted. You couldn't even leave. You couldn't understand. Moral of the story is, don't interrupt nobody fucking karma, bro. Because there was a reason that girl was fucking over the age of 30, sleeping on a couch in somebody's fucking house with not a fucking pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of. Didn't have shit to her name, and there was a reason for that. And I got in the way of that. I should have left her exactly where she was at, because here we are 2 years later, and I guarantee you, she still would have been on that lady couch. Or she would have just found another dummy. But it didn't have to be me. It did not have to be me, and I'm so glad that it's not me. I know who it is now, and good luck to you, Sarah. She's finna take you through there, baby. You think you're in love and you think you found a good woman. You have not. You have taken my trash out for me. I'm so glad that she's in your house now. That's your problem. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Good luck. The answers that you probably came to my page seeking, here it is. And that's why I gotta hold myself accountable at all fucking times, because the only reason my best friend, now ex-best friend, took me through all that shit is because I allowed it. A 31-year-old woman with not a fucking thing to her name, no kids, and nothing stopping her from getting to it, and she still didn't have it, should not have been an emergency on my part. She could have stayed exactly where she was at. I didn't have to help her. Yes, I'm a real ass bitch for trying, but that was not my cross to bear. You had the same 24 hours in a day that I do, and you have less obstacles and less things standing in your way. I had 2 kids, and I still got my shit together. You don't have your shit together, and your big ass age. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but I won't think that shit no more. Won't think it again. Won't catch me. I wouldn't give a fuck what somebody's going through. If I didn't put you in that circumstance, I am not helping you. I love you though. Mwah. Peace and blessings.
I remember when I was in my early 20s, my cousin's now ex-wife used to always say she couldn't stand females. And I used to look at her and be like, what's wrong with you? Because I never really had any run-in with women or even girls when I was in high school. Even though I had my clique of friends and my group of friends, we pretty much got along with everybody. So I didn't understand what she was saying. But back then she explained to me how jealous women can be and how catty and nasty that they could be towards each other. But because I didn't experience that, I was really green to it. But fast forward to when my oldest daughter was in first grade, which has been so many years ago. She's almost 19 now. But when she was in first grade, there was an incident at school, and her teacher told me, she was like, let me go ahead and warn you that girls can be jealous. And I was like, even in first grade? And she was like, yeah, it can start as early as first grade. And she said, trust me, it doesn't get any better. And I was like, wow. But then I go and have another daughter, and she got so much hate, even when she was in elementary school. Like, she had the biggest personality. I dressed her a certain way. So, oh my God, she went through it. But even her teachers told me, hey, it starts early. They're going to be jealous, but don't you dare dim her light. And I didn't. But now let's fast forward to me. At 47 years old, I am now engaged to a man who happens to manage a very well-known lounge, I will call it, in Atlanta. So he's around women all the time. But I'm not a jealous woman. That's not who I am. Plus, I believe he really does his due diligence to make sure that I'm secure. I'm not worried. But last night, he called me to tell me something. So he tells me about a woman who frequents the lounge. And he said last night she decided she wanted to dance all up on him and be all over him. And he was like, I don't know what you're doing, but cut that out. So he said she's never done this before, so it kind of caught him off guard. And with his mouth, ain't no telling what he said, because she tried it a second time. And I know he said to her, don't touch me. Don't ever touch me. But it was her words to him that really got me. She says to him, "Oh, now that you engaged, you acting funny." Hmm? Now, let me be clear. We recently got engaged. So he recently announced it. So that's how she even knows that we got engaged. But my issue is, if you know that he's engaged, why would you do this? Why would you disrespect me, a woman that you don't even know? Why? But my picture was very much displayed on the engagement announcement. So you thought it was okay for you to dance up on him. And then when he rejects you, you say, "Oh, you want to act funny now that you're engaged." Now, I don't go to the lounge like that all the time because it's his job. Even though I have an open invitation to come as much as I want to, I don't go down there. Plus, I'm not the nightlife type, but I have an open invitation to go. But I was recently there and we were celebrating his birthday, and it was a huge crowd. Like, it was the regular people who were there, people who were just dropping in, and people that, he's been friends with for a long time. And the way that they treated me let me know that they have a lot of respect for him, because when I tell you these people were so accommodating and so kind and so respectful towards me, it let me know that they really, really have a respect for him and they really like him. So I know that it was her and not him. Not that I was worried about it. I'm clear on the fact that it was her and not him. But it's just the fact that this further solidifies what my cousin's ex-wife was saying, the fact that she hated women. And I don't take the stance of hating women or anything like that. I just think that it's sad that more women don't show up in the spirit of sisterhood. Instead, they can show up really nasty and rude and jealous like it's a badge of honor. It's not. That don't look good or smell good on nobody. And even though I don't frequent the lounge or anything like that, I still will go there. Matter of fact, our engagement party will be there. So I could run into her at any time. And the fact that she thought that this was okay to do, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. But I think people don't understand what you say and what you do is a reflection of you, not the person that you're saying it about or doing it to. And so if I ever see her, no, I'm not going to run up on her because I don't do that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that. But it's just the point that it didn't even have to be this way. It didn't even have to be this way. So where it could be a respectful exchange, it will probably be, don't even. Please, don't even.
Hey, it's your girl Holly B. You guys been asking for story time, so here's a quick little story time about why you should be careful and understand that no one is your friend. I don't care how pretty they are. I don't care how kind they appear to be when it comes to the industry. They're not your friend, okay? If you didn't know them before you became whatever it is that you are, be it a bottle girl, a dancer, or schmex worker, don't trust them after you get into that industry, okay? Because it's not safe. Okay, well, I was dancing at Flash Dancers. There was a young lady that worked there named Nina Fresh. Okay, I think she's Dominican or something like that. She's Hispanic, whatever. But this girl, she came into the industry when butt shots were a thing. Okay, it was before the BBL. She had got her butt done with butt shots, whatever. So she, at that time, she had a figure that most girls didn't have, that are petite, short, and she was fairly small. You feel me? Maybe a buck 20, maybe a buck 20, whatever. She was real. She had a nice little shape, whatever. And yeah, she had this thing where if you were pretty, she would literally hate on you. I'm talking about hate on you to the point where she would set you up. I've seen her do it a few times. And but there was another young lady that worked. She would come from Cleo's to Cleo's, another club that was out in Orlando. But she would go from the young lady I'm about to speak about. Her name is Banana Clip. She would go from Cleo's to Flash Dancers and stuff, like just hop around and make her bag. Now, one thing about Banana Clip, that bitch was bad as a motherfucker. I'm telling you, bad is bad. And back in 2000 and like the 2010s and shit, like for a motherfucker to call you bad and you didn't have to wear a lot of makeup, you was a bad bitch, all right? She was the type of chick, she's darker than me or whatever, a little darker than me or whatever, but she had this red hair that she would wear, and she would do her eyebrows the same color as her fucking her hair. But nevertheless, the bitch was bad. She could do pole work. She can do all of that. The bitch was bad, okay? And for some reason, Nina did not like her because Banana used to come to the club on like good nights and shit. And this bitch would leave with trash bags full of fucking money. Trash bags full of money. In that little hole in the wall. Trash bags, okay? One day I noticed that Banana had came in
and she was getting a bag. And luckily, Banana was somebody that when she would club hop, she didn't do it by herself. Her cousin would also dance with her. They danced in a group and collect their money together, and they had each other's back or whatever. But Banana was talking to Nina one day, and they was kikiing everything, kikiing and talking and smiling and shit. And it just so happened there was some other bitch that worked there that had an ankle monitor or whatever. I don't know her name. I think she was Asian. I'm not sure. I think she was Asian. But anywho, she's not important. But Nina was talking to her whole time. There was a nigga there that Banana didn't dance on. He was mad or whatever. And he was at this time Molly was a big thing. Molly was a huge thing, okay? Back in the day, okay? Like fentanyl's now, Molly was back then, all right? Well, anywho, Banana had a drink, whatever, sitting up, and the thing is, I never really saw her drink like that, but she had a drink. I'm not sure if it was alcohol, whatever, but I saw Nina take some Molly from the dude in the corner on the couches, whatever, and put it in her fucking drink. And luckily, Banana was there with her cousin, because her cousin knocked that shit over. Knocked that shit smooth fuck over. So she didn't drink it or whatever. But I think at that time when her cousin saw that shit, she knew not to say nothing. Because it could have got real reckless in that motherfucker. Because people were in that club that had no business being there with weapons and some more shit. And bitches were known to jump bitches. Like, on some real shit, jump bitches. But the fact that Nina, that same day, was that all night was smiling on her face, but she just tried to set her fuck up, try to get her drugged. Like, it was crazy. I'm sitting there looking at that shit like, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm asking around, like, did y'all see that shit? I'm being told to mind my fucking business. That ain't got shit to do with you. So that was a thing that I'm pretty sure she did often to other people. But yeah, when I tell you, bitches be haters, and they will smile in your fucking face trying to drug you, bitch. They really will. Because Nina that same night was all in her face. And mind you, Banana wasn't somebody that spoke. She didn't talk too much. She wasn't no friendly ass bitch. You feel me? So if she threw you a smile, it was usually genuine or whatever. But she knew, literally, to get the fuck in and get the fuck out. But when I tell y'all, like, you can't trust nobody. And Nina's not an ugly bitch or nothing like that. She ain't the baddest. She ain't a stop and stare. But she is a pretty girl. But you wouldn't expect what the fuck Nina did to be done by her. Like, that wouldn't be your first impression of her, that she would drug you and have you backdoored. But you never know in this industry. So keep your head on a swivel and understand, the prettier that you are, the more dangerous situations can get for you, because bitches will hate on you because they're not you. Okay? And the more money you make, honestly, the more problems you will have. You can't trust nobody. But like I said, she took her friend, friend / cousin. So the reason why it was, the whole drug situation was not successful at Flash Dancers for Nina that time, was because Banana was smart and she came there with somebody that had her back. But anywho, yeah, that was that story time. But yeah, you want any more? Drop a comment below.
To the girlies who glue up later in life, how do you not hold resentment towards people who suddenly just like flock towards you?
Who said that we didn't? Let me tell you something. When I started my freshman year of college, I lost 30 pounds. I learned how to do my makeup. I learned how to install lace front wigs. I got a brand new fucking wardrobe. I started college in a brand new city where nobody knew me. I started feeling myself instantly. While I was completely nice and friendly, communicative with all of the people at my college, when I went back to my hometown that summer or the summer after that, hell, even on social media, Snapchat, whatever, Facebook, I made it my life's mission to shit on every fucking body who thought they had something to say. Bitch, what did you say? And I did it with my whole ass out. I didn't care. Like 2 years, 2.5 years. My only goal in life was to turn up on everybody I used to know. And I did. I did. Like, in hindsight, was absolutely a ridiculous phase of life. Because my entire mission was proving everybody wrong. Like, literally, my entire mission was proving everybody wrong. I was obsessed with achieving, like, anything. Whether that would be getting my degree, whether that was being pretty, whether that was being litty and famous. Like, girl, I was a party promoter. I was a model. I was a rapper.
Bitch, I was a video biscuit. Like, bitch, I did everything. And I wanted everybody to know, like literally everybody to know. When I went home that summer, all I did was rub it in their face. All I did, and I was popping on social media. All I did was let everybody know how they could never fuck with me a day in their fucking life. Honestly, I still do that from time to time. I know that they still be mad when they see me on social media now. That was the goal. That was the mission. I just don't care no more. Like, back then, though, I used to really care. Like, that was my life's mission, to show everybody how wrong they were about me. Like I said, that was a flawed mentality because so much of my energy and self-worth was wrapped up into proving people that they were wrong about me. My ego was literally on full display around people that I didn't like or on social media, right? I spent tons of money on clothes, on wigs, on makeup, because every day was a show. Like, literally every day I was putting on a show. I call this, like, looking back, this is the Fanita effect, right? This is why everybody hated Fanita, because Fanita lost weight and she started feeling herself. This is why I never turned my back on Fanita, because I completely understood. I lived this life. I ate, I breathed, I sleep, I bathed this life. And it's a phase. Like, there's no way that you can, like, change your entire appearance, glow up, and see how people start treating you different and not go through this phase. It's part of the process. You have to grow out of it. Like, eventually you have to grow out of it. You cannot stay there, because if you stay there, you're going to remain stagnant. It's going to start to affect who you are as a person. It's going to make you a bad person. Like, there's no way it's not going to make you a bad person. Or it's just going to make you turn self-hating, because you're not always going to be in this constant phase of growth. There are going to be times in your life where things are steady, right? In those steady periods, when you don't grow, you're going to start to self-deprecate. So, like, you know, like, I think this happened to me like 2020, right? Like, this is like after I graduated college. What I really wanted more than anything was a boyfriend, because I had never had a boyfriend. All I could remember was like how badly men in high school treated me, like how they treated me like I was a fucking pariah. So, like, the next phase in like proving myself was getting like the guy. So when that didn't happen, my ego took the biggest fucking hit. At the start of 2021, I gained like 30 pounds. I gained it all back. I had spent years losing that weight, and I just gained it all back because my ego took such a large hit from not finding love. I completely landslid into depression. So that was like my first ego death. Like, that's when I started realizing that this glow up that I wanted so very badly didn't actually do anything for me. Like, it didn't actually prove that I was worthy of anything, and it didn't get me the things that I actually wanted. It didn't make me rich. It didn't bring me like monetary success, really. I mean, to some regards, it didn't bring me love. It didn't bring me happiness. It just kept my head big and afloated. So after that, I went through this like long period where I didn't wear makeup, didn't even wear nails. Like, I didn't wear anything because I had to unlearn my self-worth from my outer appearance. And then it was after that, after a phase where I found inner worthiness, that I started wearing my hair, doing my makeup again, and just started like rebuilding myself, my likes, my hobbies, my interests, rebuilding things were foundational to me before I decided that my looks and how people saw me was so important. So at the end of the day, you can go through a glow up phase, but if you don't already have internal self-worth, it's going to be pointless. It's going to be pointless. You have to love yourself first. If you pour everything into proving to people that you're attractive, that you're good looking, your ego is going to take a hit eventually. That cannot sustain you forever. So go ahead and go through the phase, baby girl. We all do. It will not last forever.
Story of the time I beat my best friend ass for trying to fuck with my nigga. So boom, at the time I was 15 and I had this nigga, we're gonna call him Amir, and he was 18. And yeah, we was 3 years apart, but that was my little dude. Like, we would talk every single day, and we would go on little dates and stuff. It was cute. And every day we would get closer and closer, and I'm like, I want this to be my nigga for real. So you know how that shit go. Once you meet a nigga that you really like, you gotta tell your homegirls. So I told my bitches. And I was a little scared because they real judgmental, but I'm thinking, what could go wrong? So it was a Monday morning, we was at school, and I decided I'm going to let them know today. So I wait until lunch, and we all gather at our table.
Good morning, y'all.
Morning, girl. Good morning, girl.
Y'all know it's this boy that I really, really like.
Okay. This I know you been talking about, right?
Yeah, she been talking about him all
Show
week.
y'all him. And
Hey, let's
don't
see.
do too much.
Let me see.
This him. Girl, this him? I don't know about this one, babe. I'm sorry to break it to you, but girl, he ugly.
How old is he?
Yeah.
He's 18.
18. He look like a germ bitch. Like a big ass nigga.
That's why I don't tell y'all bitches nothing in the shit.
Nobody was fucking with him. They all thought he was ugly and they didn't like that it was a 3-year gap. But I didn't give a fuck about these bitches' opinion. That's my nigga, not yours. But these were just my surface level homegirls for real. The one person I really had to tell was the final boss, my best friend. Now, my best friend didn't go to the same school as us, so I had to wait until I got home to call her. And that's exactly what I did. As soon as 3 o'clock hit, I ran out of school, went home and called my best friend. She always so supportive, so I'm thinking like this gonna be an easy conversation, ain't it? Bitch.
Hello. Hey, bitch. What's up?
Hey, Baz. Nothing. I gotta talk to you about something.
Oh, girl. What's up?
So, it's this boy I've been talking to for a minute, and I really like him.
Okay, bitch. What he look like? Let me see.
This him.
Oh, let me see his Instagram real quick so I can get a better look.
This is his Instagram.
Whew. Yeah, he ugly. Like, I don't really like y'all together for real. Y'all don't match.
Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? The fuck? That shit had me heated. Bitch, I had to hang up on that hoe. We was a little distant for a little bit, but that's my best bitch, so I let that shit slide. So, boom, fast forward, me and Amir go on a date together, and he went to the bathroom and ended up leaving his phone at the table. Now, my women's intuition told me either protect my peace or see what the fuck this nigga doing. I saw what the fuck that nigga was doing. So I said, fuck the peace. I took his phone and I knew his password was his birthday, so it was easy for me to get in. I'm going through the messages. I'm going through all the important shit. Nothing's there. So, okay. Going through Snapchat. Nothing's there. Okay. Recently deleted. Nothing's there. I'm like, oh, I got a good nigga. Till I go to that Instagram. Going through his followers. I'm going through his following. Making sure none of the pages start lighting up to me. I ain't really seen nothing wrong. I'm like, okay, cool. Go through his likes. He liking a couple bitches here and there, but that's not nothing. What's in them DMs, though? I hit the DMs. And before I could even get anywhere, I see a page pinned. It's a bitch. My best friend. Why the fuck is my best friend page pinned on your shit? So now my heart pumping, my head spinning, I can feel myself at the flip table. But let me not even jump to conclusions. Let me read what's in there. So I gathered every bit of strength that I had and tapped the messages. Bitch. I'm going through him and my best friend messages, bitch. Why is she flirting with him? And I don't mean no regular, oh, you cute. I mean I'm trying to bust it down in double splits and shit. Bitch overly freaked out, overly desperate in these messages, and his responses was kind of confused, but bitch, why are you responding? Why the fuck didn't you tell me that my best bitch is texting you? And I'm trying to scroll to the top of the messages just to see if there's some past here. They was talking before we started talking and I came in and shit. Bitch, why was the first message that was ever sent from my best friend on the day that I showed her who he was? The day that she asked to see that Instagram. Bitch, are you a backdoor? I'm heated. I feel betrayed. So I screenshot every single one of the messages, airdropped them to myself, deleted them from his phone, and put his phone back down. Now I gotta compose myself because I'm gonna keep it P. He come back to the table, I'm like, okay, like we can get dessert or you wanna go somewhere after this? What you wanna do? I wanna go the fuck home. Take me home. So he asking me like, what's wrong? Nothing, bitch, take me home. So we end up wrapping all that shit up and he takes me home. And the whole ride there, like, I'm quiet as fuck. He asking me what's wrong. You know, I'm keeping it big.
You gonna tell me what's wrong?
Nothing is bad.
Baby, you lying. You been tripping since we left.
I said nothing. Take me the fuck home.
Alright, yeah, whatever. I'm taking you home, bitch.
I played that shit off flawlessly until I got home. But bitch, trust. Once I touched down, I called my best friend. Hello?
Hey, bestie for the restie. What's up, girl?
Bitch.
The
Yeah,
fuck?
bitch. Why the fuck are you in my nigga's DM?
Girl, what the fuck are you talking about?
No,
I don't talk
don't
to
even
nigga.
play with me. I went through his phone today and I saw you pinned in his DMs. Why are you texting him like
Well,
that?
if you went through the phone, you know what's up.
No, you're being a hoe. You're being a hoe. You're being freaked out as fuck and you're desperate. Like, you're literally throwing yourself at him.
Well, bitch, clearly I'm throwing something that you ain't. The fuck? Like,
So at this point, I'm heated. I just found out my best friend was a whore. I just found out that she was trying to take my nigga in the back ends. Like, bitch, yeah. But before I hung up, I told her, meet me at the park. And I'm not gonna lie, this has been my best bitch for a long ass time. So when I said meet me at the park, like, I really did just want to sit and talk it out with her. Like, it's no way, it's not supposed to get this far between best friends. But bitch, when I get to the park, why the fuck is she already on hots? Pull up, hop out, start walking down the hill. All I hear is,
and there she blows, crying about a nigga that ain't hers. Pussy ass bitch.
I'm flabbergasted and taken aback because this is really my best friend talking to me like this over a nigga. And she didn't know this nigga before I told her about him. So to be doing all this is like, the fuck? And the worst part is when I finally got close to her and we face to face, this bitch gonna push me. Push me? I'm really trying to show some restraint, but y'all know where it went from here. Bitch tried to home wreck, so I wrecked the bitch. We rolling all up in the grass and shit, fighting to the death. Y'all know in the park how they be having them trash cans, the metal bins. I done banged her head up against that motherfucker. Damn near stuffed her in the trash can. Shorty finally got out the trash can. She had a concussion, so she had to go to the hospital right after that. And I was trying to keep that shit under wraps. Why the hospital called my mother and say we responsible for the hospital bills? Hello? And once my mother found out, she was heated. Shorty said I couldn't date no more. She took my phone for damn near a year, and I was sick as fuck. And after that, I never talked to her again. And a couple months later, I saw them two at the mall together, her and the nigga. And I guess they together now. Whore. And that's it. Y'all gonna learn as y'all get older, keep your relationship life private from everybody. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. And you can tell your friends that you're happy, and that's all that should matter to them. They don't need to know who this person is or anything about them. And yes, in this situation, that girl had all rights to check her friend, but check the nigga also. Don't let him slide. Ever. Watch your backs around here. Bitches be crazy.
Y'all heard the story about that girl that ended up setting her best friend up to get grapes for 10 racks? The bitch did her best friend so motherfucking grimy. What's crazy about this whole situation, y'all? They have been knowing each other for 10 years. Bitch, I couldn't imagine a hoe being around me for 10 motherfucking years and that hoe crossed me. Find some money at that. So, y'all, it's this girl named Keisha and it's this girl named Taviana. Keisha and Taviana was cool. They was best friends, had been knowing each other for 6 motherfucking years. They been going strong since the beginning. Tavia used to fuck with this street dude that used to beat her ass. He also used to do other things, forcing her to do something that she don't want to do. And this was a repeated cycle every time this man got mad. Taviana already knowing this dude. She always tell Keisha, leave dude alone. Like, dude don't mean you no good. He gonna go around and unalive you. But Keisha never stood on business when she left him. She always went back to the nigga. Taviana had been telling Keisha for years to leave this man, right? So boom, he ended up, so happened, y'all, he ended up getting pulled by the police one day, and they ended up taking him in because he did have rugs in his car. So when they took him in, y'all, he had to do 12 months and 60 days in the county. But when he got out is when this shit got wicked. But I'm going to break the story down with Taviana and Keisha before I get deep into the story, because they was doing some whole other shit while he was locked up, which actually caused this man to spaz the fuck out on their ass. So y'all, we gonna wind it back or whatever. Taviana and Keisha, before they end up meeting him, they was working at this strip club. He was one of the niggas that was putting them on. They would go out, you know, get these drunk, rug them, and take everything they got. These bitches was so cold, these niggas made them untraceable. It wasn't no way they was catching up to their ass. It got to the point, y'all, they was doing this shit for years. I'm talking about racking up on niggas. At one point, Keisha ended up getting involved. She started having a sexual relationship with the man that was putting them on, which is this dude named Derek. So Derek and Keisha, they messing around and stuff like that. Taviana already telling Keisha, like, Keisha, that's not gonna end well. You mixing business with pleasure. Keisha thinking this nigga gonna make her a wife one day. Whole time, Derek just looking at her like, she his bottom bitch. So y'all, one thing led to another, y'all. Later on down the line or whatever, it ended up getting twisted between Keisha and Derek. Derek started beating on her. I'm talking about whipping her ass, y'all, dragging her out the house, like just doing all type of shit that a nigga would do. Taviana wanted to save her best friend. She used to tell Keisha all the time, Keisha, leave him the fuck alone. But you can't tell your friend nothing. If your friend gonna keep going back to that person, y'all already know how this shit go. After this one time they end up getting into a fight or whatever, this nigga kicked this bitch down the stairs. I'm talking about did her so dirty, bitch broke her leg and her hip. She in the hospital for days. When I say this man did not come and visit her not one time, but Taviana was on Keisha's side every step of the way. They was locked in, y'all. They bond was unbreakable. Well, so we thought. So, y'all, the time that Keisha was in the hospital or whatever, she was telling Taviana, like, Taviana, I'm going to leave him alone. Like, I know you told me this over and over again, and I know I keep going back, but this time I'm done. But really, Taviana thinking, like, this the same tune that she always sing. Like, I already know this girl going to go back, but I'm still going to support her and, you know, stick beside her. But, y'all, by the grace of God, he ended up getting pulled over. Had that stuff in the car and ended up getting sent their way. Keisha had money. She had money to support her bills and stuff, but she didn't have no money to be putting on his motherfucking books. So talking to him and her contacting him and she contacting him wasn't an option. She couldn't even afford to if she wanted to. So y'all, they end up giving him 12 months and 60 days in the county. The whole time he gone, y'all, Keisha is living her best life. Her and her friend is going out. They bonding, got closer. She ain't looking for no relationship. She ain't got in the gym. She is honestly working on herself. As for y'all, his time, then he done served his time, y'all. It's time for him to come home. He gets out and finds Keisha. He finds this girl. Girl, tell me why this girl walked up in her house one day and this man was in her house and she knew nothing about it. This motherfucker popped out with a pew-pew to her head and told her he wasn't even there for her. He wanted to do some things to her best friend. It forced her to make it happen. He was basically telling this girl, it's either you or it's your friend. Which one? Choose. But like that man said, y'all, it was a done deal. It was either her or Taviana. So she gave Taviana up. She was telling dude how she can lure Taviana to her house or whatever, and he can do what he do at her crib. So y'all, she was supposed to call Taviana over there to the crib or whatever, and once Taviana got in the house or whatever, she was gonna go out the back door, and that man was gonna do whatever. So y'all, after he did that to Taviana or whatever, he ended up coming up in there talking to her. They thinking Taviana out whole time. Taviana listening, she just playing like she unconscious. So y'all, she listening to them talk or whatever, and she hear Keisha telling him, "Shit, you had me set my friend up. The least you can do is throw me a couple bands." He talking about how Taviana was the best he ever had, so he'll throw some bags on her head, which means he'll drop cash to do her in every time. So Keisha wasn't aware of how much this man was gonna give her, but when he came back with 10 racks, Keisha looking like, damn, you paying for it like that? Now she trying to come on to him. This bitch thinking 10 bands? She thinking she hit 10 bands and she done came up. So this hoe was down to do whatever. Tell me why this bitch set her best friend up, got her on drugs, and started selling this bitch to her homes? To the nigga she used to fuck with, the nigga that used to do her in? Boy, what? Y'all like for part 2 if y'all want the rest of this motherfucking story, because I got to tell y'all what the fuck went down.
Okay, y'all, so this is part 2. If you ain't watched part 1, go do so you can understand what I'm talking about in 2. So she set her motherfucking best friend up for 10 racks, y'all. She get the 10 racks or whatever. Like dude said, I pay a good penny for her every time. So y'all, with Keisha knowing she can get 10 racks from this nigga, she started pimping her motherfucking friend out. End up beating her, y'all, and then putting her on drugs. Mind y'all, when all this stuff was going on, they had thought they knocked Taviana out, but they didn't. She was listening to the whole conversation the whole time, so she already knowing Keisha done turned snake on her. She knowing Keisha done set her ass up. So y'all, whole time, in Keisha mind, Keisha like, it's better for this nigga to do it to her than for it to be done to me. Cause she already knowing how heavy this nigga used to get on her ass. I'm talking about y'all beat this bitch bloody. Like I told y'all, he kicked her down the stairs and broke her hip and broke her fucking leg. So y'all, she already knew that this man was about business. When he said he was gonna stand on something, baby, he stood on it. So in Keisha mind, not in a million years will she ever cross this nigga, cause she know how he get down. But damn, bitch, to give your best friend to the wolves, the fuck? You gotta be a cold ass bitch to do some shit like that. But anyways, let's continue. So y'all, when dude left or whatever, she ended up getting one of her lamps and she beat the out of Taviana. I'm talking about had all this messed up. So y'all, by this time, Taviana on the floor cold. At this point, she is knocked the fuck out. So Keisha gets her body or whatever, place her in this chair and tie her ass up. So when Taviana finally came to or whatever, they talking, they chopping it up or whatever. Taviana telling her that, I heard everything you said. She asking Keisha, how could you do me like that? I was always around for you. We've been friends for 10 years. How could you snake me like this? Keisha apologized to her friend, basically saying like, girl, you know I need the money. You know I've been going through a hard time in life. Saying this nigga paying her 10 racks to get off on her, and she knew that she wasn't gonna never agree to it, so that's why she had to go through with the plan. Like a whole lot of bullshit. Me and Taviana couldn't do nothing but cry. Next thing you know, boom, 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 it's a knock at the door. This nigga coming through. See, this little ninja right here, he could have took Shorty by himself, strung out on drugs, and did whatever he wanted to do with her for free. But this motherfucker living a whole double life. He got the shit that he got going on with Taviana and Keisha. Then this nigga got a wife out of state. So when I say he drive from state to state to see Taviana, he drives state to state to see Taviana. He basically told Keisha, if you keep her right, I fuck with her. The agreement was for Taviana to only be for him. And Keisha was gonna be the bitch to make that happen. Y'all, this story so fucked up, it's blowing me. But let's continue. So y'all, for a couple months or whatever, he had been getting away with it. Keisha had been getting away with it. And Tavia on the other end going through it. So this shit happened for like 4-5 months or whatever. Taviana asked Keisha if she could just stay there. She said she didn't have to be tied down. She didn't have to be in one room all day. Basically trying to gain Keisha's trust. Letting Keisha know, like, if you let me be free around the crib and stuff like that, I will be willing to do that. But Keisha wasn't going for that shit. So Taviana plead with her some more. But it ain't shit Taviana saying that Keisha want to hear at this point. This bitch come in the room throwing racks in the air talking about, look how much I made, man. This shit right here is a lick. Tavia raised up and she look at Keisha like, bitch, I told you to leave him alone. I've been telling you to leave him alone. Keisha had a moment because she like, damn, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, she was on my side when he wasn't even there. But in Keisha head, like, it ain't no turning back. I done already went through with this shit. This bitch done heard the plan. Like, at this point,
She on my ass. So y'all, Keisha walks out the room or whatever. They go get her a chair. She gets the chair. She brings it back up in there. Her and Taviana finna have a conversation. A heart-to-heart conversation. So y'all, Keisha apologized to Taviana. She telling her like, girl, you just don't know exactly what I went through with this man. This man not only used to beat me, but this man used to grate me every time some shit ain't go his way. So Taviana telling her like, Keisha, I'm knowing what you went through. I know what you went through. I've saw the bruises. I saw the marks. But how could you turn on me for this nigga? Y'all, Keisha got to saying she's sorry, this, that, and the third, and how she need the money, and she plan on letting her go, just not right now. She trying to get so much money to where she can have something done to this girl. That way she'll be able to get away and be free. Y'all, at this point, it's time for Tavia to talk her magic. Like, this bitch, you done got this bitch at a sentimental moment. It's time to talk your talk. So she telling Keisha, why don't we just set his ass up together, find out where this nigga stay, and we rob him? Keisha thinking. Because like I said, y'all, Keisha after the money. Keisha want her motherfucking bag. At this point, this bitch done took so much pain and she's so traumatized, bro, that she turning on people that's close to her. You see, she turned on her best friend. 10 years, bitch. That's a long motherfucking time. But let's continue in part 3. Anyways, y'all like this video, comment down below if y'all want part 3. I might take y'all to the car wash with me and we're gonna record out there. All my videos gonna be 5 minutes long. Y'all ain't finna play with my motherfucking top, because when I give y'all a video in 1, you never fucking like. Y'all support y'all girl. Like, damn, support. All you gotta do is double tap, bitch, share, comment. Like, it's nothing. It costs nothing to support. I fuck with y'all, so fuck with me. Period. So y'all, this is part 3. We coming with the bitches back to back. Okay, let's go. Okay, yeah, so this part 3, y'all. She done set her motherfucking friend up for 10 motherfucking wrecks, y'all. But the script flips, okay? Okay, y'all, so Taviana talking to Keisha or whatever. She telling Keisha like, shit, we can set this nigga up together. We can rob his ass, get all his motherfucking money, and be done with this shit. So Taviana telling Keisha, you know what I'm saying? Even though you did this shit, I understand why you did it. Let's get this money together. Keisha thinking. Now, this is when shit get, hey. So y'all, Keisha asking Taviana, how the fuck I know you ain't gonna set me up? If we was to do this shit, how the fuck was the plan gonna go? And one thing about Taviana ain't no dumbass bitch. So she already know. By Keisha asking her how the fuck the plan gonna go, she already know she got a foot in the door. She knowing Keisha hesitating on doing this shit. Taviana telling her, Keisha, you know I never cross you. I always been on your side. I always rock with you through thick and thin. And that was real shit. Keisha knew that. They had big falling out, y'all. They ain't never had no falling out like this, but they had big falling outs. And they always clicked back. They always made their way back to their friendship. Like I said, y'all, Keisha ain't never pulled no shit like this over Taviana. But Keisha can kind of peep when Taviana telling the truth, and she can kind of peep when she lying. Taviana trying to be free. So that bitch got to believe it. They had a plan to get this nigga, and they was going to take this nigga for everything that he got. Ain't y'all, I told you this nigga was living a double life. So this nigga got a whole wife and a whole 3-year-old. This is when shit gets wicked. Well, it been wicked, but this is when shit hit a turnover. So the plan was for when he came down there to try to get on Taviana, Taviana was going to act like she tied up and shit. So whenever he tried to touch Taviana, they both was going to jump his ass. They was going to take his keys, take his wallet, you know what I'm saying, so they can look and see where the fuck this nigga stay. Who the fuck this nigga really is. Because like I told y'all, he only come down on certain days at certain times. So they already knowing, they done put 2 and 2 together, and they knowing that this nigga living a double life. So boom, he come over there or whatever, they end up getting off on him. Taviana went out there and got this nigga wallet. Alright, stay with me, y'all. So by Taviana going out there to get the wallet, and she bring the wallet straight to Keisha, Keisha like, okay, yeah, I can trust this bitch. I'm knowing this bitch ain't gonna snake me. Because meanwhile, while Taviana was out there getting the wallet, Keisha was still in there wrestling with his ass. So boom, y'all, they got his ass, they got him tied up. Nigga can't do shit. They looking at this address, this nigga stay out of state. They like, damn, you traveling all this way for a piece of, alright. So he yelling, he like, fuck y'all hoes or whatever. My niggas gonna find y'all. They gonna do y'all in. They gonna do this thing. Like making all type of threats. Boy, when I say this man hot, he hot. Cause it's like, damn, bitch, I've been fucking with you for months. And this how you turn on me. But bitch, you should have known. You should have known Keisha cannot be trusted. She turned on her best friend that she was fucking with for 10 years, ninja. Put 2 and 2 together. You set your own self up for failure with this shit. Anyways, let's continue. So Keisha had to tell the nigga, you know what I'm saying? If you did this and you did that to me, and you did that shit for years. The reason we're in this situation now, nigga, you made me set my best friend up. Like, you forced me to set my best friend up. Like, it's either me or her. Taviana hearing this shit, but Taviana been blue. Bitch, when you was talking to this man about getting 10 racks every motherfucking time he come down, cut though, we ain't friends no more. But Taviana plays it cool. So, y'all, let's get to the motherfucking good part. Okay, so they get his motherfucking address, y'all. They traveling down there to the address and his shit. I knowing it's money all in the truck. This nigga got a whole suitcase of money. I'm talking about racked up. Do y'all know who name is craved in the suitcase? Taviana name. So I guess that amount of money belonged to Taviana. And she was gonna take that. As she should. So y'all, they driving down there. They finally make it to the address. So y'all, along all this shit, they still playing it cool. Taviana started bringing up shit, memories that they had back in the day. They laughing and, you know what I'm saying, talking about how they finna be up, how they finna take this nigga for everything that he got. Like, they just was having a good ass conversation, baby. Keisha would have never thought Taviana was on no slick shit with her. But Tavia, in the back of her head, Tavia like, this bitch gonna burn. She gonna make sure Keisha ass was left with nothing. Taviana knew she couldn't do Keisha too bad. She still had love for Keisha. Keisha was her best friend, even though Keisha had crossed her. That's how motherfucking real Taviana was. Because Taviana could have offed her ass, but she didn't. So, y'all, they bust up in the house or whatever. I'm talking about his motherfucking child in the living room playing, the goddamn wife in the kitchen cooking. Taviana put a strap to the kid head, letting Keisha know, bitch, I'm all in for this shit. Now, when Keisha saw Taviana grab that baby and put that strap to that baby head, Keisha automatically knew that Taviana was on demon time. Because not in a million years, Keisha would have saw herself putting a strap to a baby head, a 3-year-old at that. So to see Taviana putting that strap to that baby head, Keisha already knowing Taviana effed up. But she go through with the plan. So Taviana got the strap on the wife head or whatever. And she asking the wife, what the money at, what a safe at, what his strap said. Give me all the jewelry y'all got in this bitch. I'm talking about they was finna take everything. The wife didn't hesitate, y'all. She showed Keisha where the stash at. Keisha ended up getting over $100K from this nigga. So y'all, once they got the bags or whatever, they end up leaving the house. Keisha ended up unaliving the wife. The wife said something smart as they was walking out the door, and Keisha turned around and shot her. Taviana shot the baby. As soon as Keisha turned around in disbelief, she shot Keisha's ass. Anyways, I want to thank y'all for watching this video. I want y'all to like, comment, and share this motherfucker. Like, yeah. What's y'all plans for today? I think I'm gonna go wash my car. I need my car detailed. And I called up there, y'all. They talking about $100. Bitch, I'll do it myself. Y'all never thought I was gonna pay y'all $108 to clean this motherfucker. It ain't even that bad to be charging me no damn $180. I mean $108. But anyways, yeah, that's what I'm finna go do. And then I'm gonna come back home and clean this motherfucking crib up. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this story or whatever. Tell me what the fuck y'all think gonna happen next if I make another part. If I make another part. Should I make another part? Let me know when it comes. Okay, y'all, so this is part 4 or whatever part this is. So y'all, after they took the wife and her daughter out, Taviana ended up shooting Keisha. Now she got Keisha pleading for her life. So she ended up stealing one of his cars and driving back to the spot where he was at. And yeah, she drug Keisha ass all along. Keisha was gonna go to the crib or whatever and tell old dude that his wife and his baby was unalive. And then she was gonna make Keisha unalive him. So y'all, they driving. They finally get to the crib. This motherfucker passed out. Taviana go up in there kicking him. Like, wake your ass up. She got Keisha ass right out the car and drug her ass in there too. Mind you, Keisha not unalive, y'all. She injured. So she tied Keisha ass up right beside him. And she tell Keisha, tell his ass. Keisha like, yeah, your wife and your baby dead. That motherfucker went crazy. And before you knew it, Taviana put a bullet in his head. Y'all, after she put a bullet in this man, it was lights out for this man. Him and his family was gone. That's just Taviana and Keisha. This is where Taviana started having a heart-to-heart conversation with Keisha. Telling Keisha how she's so surprised that she crossed her. They had been best friends. They had built a bond, a trust. She threw all that shit away for 10 racks. Taviana like, damn, you could at least came with some where we both was in on it. And we could have got his ass. Before Keisha could even open her mouth, she put a bullet in her head. End of story. Now, y'all, this next one that I'm finna do is gonna be a love spill story. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Make sure y'all like, comment, and share this shit. And, oh, follow me, yes. And my other page is Kari Ashley. Me and my man gonna start making content over there. So if you want to be in tune with both worlds with me, fuck with it, baby. Anyways, thank y'all for supporting.
So I made a really bad mistake, and I want y'all to tell me if y'all think the punishment fits the crime. So a couple of months ago, one of my closest friends graduated with her MSN to become a nurse practitioner. And me and her have been friends for years, and we talked every day, traveled together, and she genuinely was one of my closest friends. And so she told me about her graduation months in advance, and then I missed it because I genuinely had the wrong date in my head. It was not intentional. And at this time, I was working nights and weekends trying to complete a mentorship program that I had spent thousands of dollars to get into. I was exhausted, and honestly, I was just trying to keep my head above water. Now, obviously, I don't think that any of that excuses me for missing one of the biggest days of her life, but I just want to give y'all some context for where I was mentally. So I woke up the afternoon of her graduation after working overnight, and I saw this text from her saying that people that she had barely known shown up to her graduation, but the person she considered one of her closest friends had not. And then she kind of sarcastically asked if I was okay or if she needed to call the police to do a welfare check on me. And y'all, my stomach immediately dropped. And so I sent her an audio message, and I apologized and took responsibility and explained to her that I had gotten the date wrong and that I thought it was the next Friday. And I did have to work that day too. So a little bit later, I went back to follow up with her, and I realized that she had blocked me on Instagram, on TikTok, Facebook, everything. And we have not spoken since that day. And so the next day, I got a notification on Threads because she had posted a graduation vlog. The first thing that she said was something like, I have to stop thinking people are really like my friends and want to see me do well or make it. And honestly, I think that was the moment that I kind of checked out and stopped trying to figure out how I was going to make it up to her. Because I do completely understand why she was hurt, and I know that I messed up bad. But at the same time, me and her had been friends for years, and I had always shown up for her. Even when my own house was flooded and I didn't have running water, I showed up to her event because I promised her I was going to be there. So really, ever since then, I've wondered, should one mistake erase years of showing up for somebody? And then another kind of thing I wrestled with this was that personally, I don't bring any active conflicts that I have with people to social media because I know how mean I can be when I'm hurt. So I always try to let myself cool off before I say something, especially publicly, that I might feel different about later. So y'all be honest with me. What would you have done in her shoes, and what would you have done in mine? Like, would you have kept on trying to reach out? Would you try to reach out now? Do y'all have any like similar thing that's happened to y'all? Because I have not had very many friendships to end, especially on bad terms.